What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Exchange for another week. This week, Mike and I will be talking all things D23. We saw a bunch of new footage, a lot of first looks, a lot of new details regarding the future of Star Wars on television specifically. So, yeah, today we're going to break that all down. But first of all, introducing, of course, Mike himself. How you going this week, Mike?
Hey Ari, I'm doing great actually. It's been fun getting back into the groove of Star Wars. Whenever we get this roundup of news and trailers and all the goodies, it just kind of ropes us back into the groove of things, and also just it's been an off summer for me with Star Wars. As many of you guys know,
Yeah.
I liked Kenobi, but I think overall it just put me off. I went on a little ramble on my story the other day on Instagram. I was like, I don't know. I feel like it soured my love for Star Wars and like my overall hype for all the live action stuff that they're doing. So I just kind of felt like, oh. But then the Andor trailer came out and it kind of lifted my spirits. But then to see this new slate of all this stuff that we're gonna be talking about today really gassed me up, I gotta say. So I've
Mhm.
just been kind of soaking in that, and I'm just like I'm ready to come back. So yeah, I'm doing well on that side. And how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. I agree with a lot of what you just said. Like this, I guess summer has been like since Kenobi. I've just been off of Star Wars, like you. Like I think the only Star Wars thing I've really consumed is Princess and Scoundrel, which I wasn't a big fan of. If you listened to last week, but yeah. So I don't know, but I'm kind of. I think I'm on a pretty similar page to you. All this stuff got me relatively excited. However, I guess a disclaimer for this episode would be that um, uh, me and Mike sort of aren't jumping for joy at all this stuff because we've actually seen the Mando trailer like 3 months ago. We saw the Tales trailer at the same time. We watched the first episode of that series. And at the time, we were both so excited. We were sitting in the same room at Celebration watching all that together. But a lot of this, like, I don't know, it feels a little bit like old news to us. However, at the same time, it was very cool to go back and revisit some of this stuff. Which of course we'll be talking about today. And just getting like a little timeline was nice as well for stuff, so we can look to the horizon and see what's ahead of us. But yeah, I guess let's. I mean, before we start, Mike, remind everyone what to where they can listen to the show and all that.
Listen, if you're going out for your jog, your morning run, if you're going out to the gym, please, you don't have to watch our beautiful faces. You could also listen on Audible, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all wherever podcasts are available. You can listen to us. So usually I require some cool music when I'm working out, but I know there's some people out there that will take it upon the treadmill and rather listen to soothing voices. So here we are providing for all you lovely folk. So just do that. Go look for us, the Star Wars Exchange, on all, like I said, wherever podcasting is available. What we do love you here, our YouTube crowd. It's also cool if you check out our us on the podcasting app. So there's that. So make sure to do that. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's start with Tales of the Jedi. I think for me personally, the thing I'm most looking forward to, I just think it's encapsulating everything that I've found I've been fond of with Star Wars in recent times, like the animation, the characters, the era, everything like that. So they said that it's coming out October 26th. They're going to drop all episodes. Something immediately that is annoying me is that we're going to get those 6 episodes and an episode of Andor on the same day, which don't know why they can't just move Tales like 2 days just to not have that overlap. But I'm sure I'm sure we'll get to that. But the trailer, as we said, we already saw it, but it was nice to watch it again. I actually didn't watch it for a few days just because I was real busy and I was like, okay, I've already seen this. However, when I did watched it a couple of times, and yeah, got me really excited. Just this series is just like just a Dave Filoni series. He wrote it all. He's done all the work for it. So it's going to be great to see. But Mike, tell us your thoughts on the release date, revisiting the trailer, all that stuff.
So first of all, the release date couldn't have come at a better time because it's literally 3 days before my birthday. About, so it's just like,
Mm,
yes, like that is a cool treat. So I'm gonna have
yeah,
Tales of the Jedi to watch, and I vibe more with the Star Wars animation side than the live action, just because that's where it's home for me. Clone Wars, Rebels, all
yeah,
that, and now
I
hopefully, I
agree.
mean, Bad Batch didn't really hit that stride for me. I'm sure if I was a kid, I would have like loved it as the same, but for me, it's I have adult goggles and stuff, and I didn't mean to make what's her name, Sid. I didn't mean to make a Sid reference, but you know, it's just different now. So I view Bad Batch through different lenses as someone who's a Clone Wars fan, a Clone Wars veteran, if you will. But Tales of the Jedi, it's like it's bringing back that Clone Wars era, but it's like something that like it's like dabbling in the period between Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace that I've been wanting to see, and actually even before that too, with a young Qui-Gon Jinn. So it's like, yes, like there is so much like space in here for them to tell stories, and Count Dooku has always been one of my favorite characters, and I still feel that Clone Wars characterizes Dooku from the one that we saw in the films. I feel like there's more to him there, and Clone Wars really took that one-dimensional approach to the character. When it's like you read Dooku Jedi Lost, you read some parts of Master and Apprentice, where it's like you get this like Dooku character, and it's just so many layers to him where it's like I want more, and I feel like we're finally getting that with Tales of the Jedi. Now the Ahsoka side, you know, we're getting 3 episodes of Ahsoka. Ari and I have already seen 1/3 of the Ahsoka episodes. And we had a good time at Celebration. I was like, wow, we're watching a new, really in a new chapter in the animation field, you know. So it was really cool for us. It was cool seeing Ahsoka as a baby and stuff. And I mean but it's like the Ahsoka stuff. I mean, the stuff that's really intriguing is seeing her at Padme's funeral. That's like, okay, that's cool.
Time, yeah,
big time. Like it's like, whoa, that's another like. It's cool how they're like keep like enveloping her in like or roping her in Revenge of the Sith and all the scenes that you don't see. It's like we got that in Siege of Mandalore, and now we're getting it again with her at Padme's funeral, which is just heartbreaking. Padme was one of her best friends, and it's like now she like can't even attend in like it as one person, you know, normally would. She has to go into hiding and has to hide and can't get close up. Like that is so heartbreaking. You know, as we saw in Clone Wars, they were like besties and stuff, and it's like, oh, like imagine not going to one of your best friend's funeral. That hurts. So that was really saddening to see again, even though I've seen the trailer. But like all this looks great. The Dooku stuff I can't wait to get into. The Ahsoka stuff, it's like like there's some cool things that I want to see, but it's if anything, you know, I will say Obi-Wan, you know how we see a mullet Obi-Wan with that cool armor. Contradiction to Brotherhood. I'm just like, no, we got this really cool scene at the end of Brotherhood. If you read the Mike Chen novel that we reviewed here on this channel, there's a scene at the end where it's like he already had his haircut and stuff, but you know what? Whatever. Continuity, schmontinuity is what they say. But it's still cool seeing that and seeing all like the different Jedi in there and Yaddle. It's like we know Yaddle is gonna bite the dust, but it's still cool to see. But yeah, it was a great trailer. As Ari, I didn't immediately watch the trailer, like I've already seen it. And I just immediately like pulled out my laptop and I was like, I'm ready to cover this for everyone. And it was cool to get confirmation because I don't think at Celebration they revealed how many episodes it was gonna be.
No, they did. They said 3. They just didn't say the release date. They said it would come out in fall.
Oh, could have been.
I have a question for you though. Yes. Everyone keeps talking about the Yaddle thing. I think I've just been tapped out for too long. But why is Yaddle definitely going to bite the dust?
Because in the trailer you see Yaddle in like Sidious's and Count Dooku's meetup place on Coruscant, like that abandoned building. So it's like Yaddle made the discovery and Dooku's there. It's like, you know, Yaddle's not going to survive because if she did, she'd tell everybody their little.
I heard everyone saying this, and I was just like, why does Yaddle have to die? Poor Yaddle. But okay, makes sense now. Makes sense.
Yaddle's going to bite it. Immediately, I was like, ooh, that sucks. And I can't believe I didn't even catch too much going on at Celebration for you to like capture those small moments. So I appreciate the trailer, but if I may, I just want to say. D23, maybe we could talk about this later, but I just want to say I wasn't really expecting anything because I don't know if I told you, Ari, but I definitely had this conversation with myself, either in the shower or just on my walk or somewhere. But I was like, everyone was like building up this hype for D23, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Should we go into that now or a bit later? Should we still
if you want to? Yeah, we may as well. Okay. I mean, my thinking my thinking with it, sorry, I should say, was I don't know. I kind of felt like they would lean on, you know, announcing some stuff just because I think announcements were just so due with, you know, things like Bad Batch and Tales of the Jedi and all that sort of stuff. So I kind of felt like, that they inevitably are going to have to do something. And I don't know, I've just recall in the past D23 they've released some like pretty substantial stuff. So I had a decent inkling they were going to do something, especially with Disney Plus Day being a few days before. I thought, okay, somewhere amongst all of this, we're going to get, some decent news and announcements and reveals and stuff. So I think this was just about what I thought they would do, and
Yeah.
I was pretty satisfied with it. What were
Usually,
your thoughts there?
usually on like even the Marvel side, they like do like this big hurrah. Like, they announced the Kenobi series last time.
Yeah,
Because I think this is like they do D23 like every 2 years or whatever. So it's like
yeah,
every time we get to this point, we get like this big hurrah and display of like, we're gonna announce new Star Wars shows, which I'm glad they didn't, because we still have a full slate of stuff.
yeah.
Let's give out what you guys already promised. And
Mm.
where's Rangers of the New Republic? Where's this show? Where's the Lando show?
It's
It's
in the
like
bin. That's
it's
where it
in the
is.
bin. It's in the bin.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know what? Let's focus on what's already announced. So at Celebration, everyone was kind of mad that they didn't release the trailers to the public. Well, now you got it, and that's exactly. I was on the same wavelength as you. I was like, they're gonna. And I don't think we talked about this, but I was like, everyone was expecting this big thing from D23, but I'm like, I think they're gonna keep it safe this year. They're gonna play it safe, and we're just gonna get all the stuff that we saw at Celebration. It was just the easy thing to do. I think Indiana Jones got like a trailer or something on the Lucasfilm, on the other side of Lucasfilm. They got a
mm,
whole trailer that they got to see, which is cool. But everyone else, I mean, for the Star Wars side, it's stuff we already. I mean, it was cool to get confirmation dates, but again, wasn't expecting anything big. I didn't seem like anyone on the Star Wars side was disappointed, because everyone was eating up like all the trailers that we got. But
yeah,
usually it's just weird, because again, D23 usually they do this big like presentation and stuff, and it could almost be likened to the presentation they did for like that one investor day meeting with
yeah, right.
where they
Yeah,
pull out that big map
where
of
they
what they're going to
announced all
do.
those series that are never going to happen.
That never happened. So yeah,
I'm
I don't know.
joking.
I just wanted to address that though, because it was just like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the vibe was, but I definitely was like, yeah, they're gonna play it safe. And yeah, I mean, I wish we got an updated Mando trailer,
yeah, same.
I'm sorry, release date, but also a trailer.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because that one's a cool teaser, but like apparently
Yeah.
now the date's changing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
okay. We will definitely get to that. I just want to
yes,
wrap up the Tales talk real quick.
yes,
On the
yes,
first episode that we did see, I just want to say the reason why I personally enjoyed it so much, I think Mike can relate to this, is the show just seems so like artistic and subtle and
yeah.
creative. And it's not like it doesn't seem like one of those shows with a formula. I have a solid feeling that the run times for all the episodes are going to be kind of whack. Like there might be a half an hour episode and then a 15-minute episode. I'm pretty sure the Ahsoka one went for somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes, because the episodes just are what they need to be. They're just, yeah, I just really like the direction that this show's going. And it's like just telling stories that Dave Filoni wasn't told to tell. He just thought, I think there's a really good couple of stories I could write here, and he just wrote them. And then they said, all right, let's make a few Clone Wars style episodes and see what happens. So I think Tales is going to be fantastic. And I do want to hear your thoughts though on the release date thing and the clash between Andor and that, because it's been bugging me ever since I heard that Tales was going to come out on the same day as an Andor episode.
I wish that they release maybe like the Ahsoka ones first,
Yeah.
and then Dooku the next week or something. Just
Oh
split
yeah,
them
that'd be
up.
good. Yeah.
That would like A, B. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's sometimes Netflix does that, but it would have been cool. And yeah, I don't. What episode of Andor would that be? Do you know?
It's going to be on episode 8, I believe.
And how many episodes is 12? I mean, well, that's kind of aggravating, because I went on a rant on this. I didn't go on a rant, but I posted that I was frustrated that originally Mando and Bad Batch would collide at some point, and we'll talk about that later. And
Yeah.
people were mad at me, or people were like, "Why are you mad? This is more Star Wars." And this is the same
Mm.
case here. This is more Star Wars. It's like, yes, it's more Star Wars, but guess what? You know what we tend to do? We start to compare, and it's like,
Yeah.
either it's like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go for the appetizer this week, the animation. That's what typically people do. Usually I get more satisfied on the animation side sometimes, but people will definitely do that, where it's like, oh, I'm doing animation first as the appetizer, then go to Mando, or Andor, for like the big course meal, whatever. And it's like what I'm scared for, like maybe not Andor because they said they're not gonna do like a whole bunch of Easter eggs, which is great, or fan service. But it's like from on Bad Batch's side, Mando, it's like Bad Batch would be so forgotten about because it's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, we just had like this real cool like runabout episode, whatever, and while we're moving the story forward, and then Mando, oh, guess it's the cameo of the week, and then everyone forgets about Bad Batch, and then guess what? You know what the consequences, the domino effect is? Bad Batch isn't in the conversation that week, so guess what? Disney Plus is like,
Yeah. See
you
you
know,
later, Bad
Mando.
Batch. They'll toss it in the bin.
Sorry, Bad Batch. We are not greenlighting you for another season. That's literally what happens. So I like that's why I hate those situations. And it's like Tales of the Jedi. It's like, why are you dropping all your episodes during like probably the height of the Andor series
Yeah.
because it's
Also,
approaching
it's just
the finale.
like it's so avoidable. Just put Tales on a Friday. Like you used to release Mando on a Friday all the time. Why can't you do it with Tales? Like
I know
it seems
it's that damn it's that damn Loki show where it had like this massive success on a Wednesday, and they're like, we're moving everything to Wednesdays now. And
exactly.
oh,
Well, you just mentioned it, but what do you think of the release format, dropping the whole series at once?
not a fan, definitely not a fan.
Wow. Okay.
Visions, look at what happened to Visions. Everyone talked about it
True.
for 2-3 days, and then it was forgotten about. And it was only
Yeah.
me who was watching. I took it like piece by piece. I would come home after school or like in between classes, be like, let me watch an episode or two. Oh, this one's cool. And I think I likened or I would liken what you just said about Tales of the Jedi being like more of an artistic approach, almost like Visions. Like it felt like a different story each time and like a different take, and that's what I want from Tales of the Jedi. It's like, oh my god, each almost like, listen, Force of Destiny, it is what it is, but it was like you got a different adventure every time. It's like, and it was just things that's like, let me throw it on the background, right? And this is here. It's like, no, we get to actually involve ourselves in this environment, involve ourselves in this story, because they're like how you said, like 20 minutes, however long they need to be, and it's like we literally watched that Ahsoka one, and there was just shots for like minutes on end of like a plane and like creatures flying over or animals running through the grass. And it's like, what is this, Pixar? Like the animation is just so good. And it just feels like each time it's like, oh, well, at least for this one, it almost felt like at first it was like, oh, great, we're going to get Ahsoka origin story. Like we need to know everything about her, right? I mean, at this point, might as well. But it's like, but at the same time, it felt very inspired, right? From that first episode. It's like, wow,
100%.
they really needed to tell this story. Because not every story needs to be told, but in this one, it exemplified why it needed to be told. And it's like, wow, like that was so cool. I took so much away from that. So I really hope that continues throughout the series, and that it continues feeling inspired, because that's what it feels like it is, rather than like, oh, let's play with characters we already know and characters that like just we're going to tell them because they're popular, like Ahsoka. But I really want to get into like that Dooku side. But like I said, if for Andor, they released that kind of sucks that again, it's not like the beginning of the Andor series. It's like at the pinnacle. But I would so prefer if they drop like a slate of episodes, like the Dooku slate, like the next on like a Friday, and like the week beforehand it was the Ahsoka slate of episodes.
Yeah,
that would have been just, or even a week. I wouldn't even mind a weekly release because it's just so much content that we're getting. I know you're not for that, but like when it was Bad Batch, it was so much fun, even though it's frustrating sometimes. Like I think that finale should have been like one episode. That 2-part finale should have been one episode. But each week, besides like one or two cases, each week I felt like I got something out of it. And it's like, and for Rebels too, it was frustrating sometimes, but it was just like, it was part of the fun, being like, what's going to happen next week? And then we will get like an explosive episode, like Shroud of Darkness, and be like, oh my God, that felt like 40 minutes and it was only 22 in a good way. Right. So I don't know. I feel like on the animation side, I get it's shorter content, but I rather just like, if they could just like separate it sometimes, I wouldn't mind. I know you disagree, but I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Well, I would say I would actually prefer Tales if it did split off the Ahsoka and the Dooku ones on separate releases, even if it was just a week apart. But I don't know. I don't think a weekly release for the animation works that much anymore. During Bad Batch, when I rewatched the series as a whole, not that I think they should have dropped the whole series at once, I was like, this is a fantastic series. And I really fell in love with the show. But when it's coming out piece by piece, it just feels like you're watching like I don't know. It's like watching a jigsaw puzzle just so slowly get pieced together. It's like, can
That's
you just
fair.
put the puzzle together? Like, I don't know. But
Very fair.
which is why, like, I feel like with this upcoming season, we'll get to this, but I feel like they should be releasing in chunks. But Tales, I like that they're just drop the series, let's watch it, let's engage with it. Even though I agree that the downside is, it might just go, the talk about it might go away quickly. But who knows? It could just be that good that we talk about it for a while. So yeah.
One question: who are you more excited for, Dooku or Ahsoka stories?
Definitely the Dooku ones, just because we have seen so many Ahsoka stories, and also as you said, we've already seen like 30% of the Ahsoka ones, and so I'm like, okay, I want to see that full Dooku chunk. But yeah, I'm still excited for both though. How about you?
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely excited for both. I'm like I said, I want to see like the Ahsoka like during like more like
True.
season one
Yeah.
Anakin and stuff. It's like bring me that and seeing Ahsoka, uh, dabble into again the Revenge of the Sith timeline and seeing Bail in there. It's like I don't know what they would do with that. Maybe they meet up in Revenge of the Sith. I don't know. That would be really cool. And yeah, I'm like excited for that. And we're getting like Ahsoka for that scene from the Ahsoka novel. It looks like where she confronts the sixth
Yeah.
brother. So it's
Yeah.
really cool. So it really feels like these are like I know that story was already told with the Inquisitor and stuff, but it's cool that it's like not everyone read that book. It's like we're gonna put it on screen for y'all. So I really appreciate that. And I don't know, I really stress Ari hasn't read Dooku Jedi Lost or listened to it because he can't find a hardcover copy. But I really express for you guys to check out that story. Kevin Scott wrote Rising
Mm,
Storm just recently, and he's been doing the
mm.
High Republic comics. So it's like this man is awesome. He's great. And he wrote Dooku Jedi Lost, and oh my god, that is a phenomenal story. So you guys should really get your hands on it. And also Master and Apprentice. Dooku has some really good scenes with him and Qui-Gon and Master and Apprentice, and you guys should check it out. So yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's just touch on it now because I just mentioned it. But Bad Batch, we just got an updated release date, January 4th. Thank God it's not going to overlap with Andor, but it does mean we're going to have to wait quite a while to see it. I'm I'm just like okay with that though because I'm just relieved that there's not going to be an overlap. However, it seems like we've avoided it with Andor, but it's potentially going to happen with Mando. So, but that leads me into the Mando talk as well. Apparently, they said its Celebration was going to come out in February next year. I think I've been hearing it's highly likely that that is going to be pushed back. I don't know if that's even to do with potential crossover between Bad Batch, but I've heard it's going to be pushed back. However, something I alluded to just before, I really think Bad Batch, if they're going to do another 16 episode series, please at least release them in episodes of 2. Make condense it so that we don't have to do the crossover. And 16 weeks, it's just too much for a show that people aren't going to be that invested in. If you minimize that to 8 weeks, people are going to, it's going to be much easier for people to follow and stay in touch with it. They are releasing the first 2 episodes straight away, but which means it could be another 15-week series, which I just think is way too much. But that's a kind of a separate conversation. But I don't know. What do you think of this updated release date?
Yeah. So I want to address the episode thing quickly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
16 weeks makes no sense for me because it does if you're doing it on streaming or you're doing it on cable, the viewership always has this like prime time like oh my god, we just hit like 1 million viewers on the first episode, and guess what happens?
Yeah.
Crashes throughout as the season is airing on TV or streaming, and then like slowly picks back up for the finale. And it's like, why don't you condense that? I don't understand how even Clone Wars and Rebels did it on TV where they went for
Yeah. Rebels did
22.
it in season 4.
Oh yeah, that was a
Yeah.
smart thing. Some
Yeah.
episodes I was like, oh man, I really wish I just got to experience this by itself. Like I
True.
would have loved for there's like some episodes, and this ties into my Bad Batch point. Like for Rebels Jedi Knight, I really think we needed a week to sulk in Kanan's loss.
Yeah.
We
I
really
agree.
needed a week. I didn't need to go jumping into seeing Zeb and Sabine like paint this what was his name?
Rook.
Rook. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't need to see that like, oh my god, I'm so sad, and then them turn into like some like weird comedy humor that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So Bad Batch, there's a lot of instances in season 1. Like if we pull up the episode list right now, Ari and I could sit here and be like, those two definitely should have aired on the same day, like the Cad Bane episodes. Oh, this
Oh,
should have been
100%.
definitely
Yeah.
Captain Rex here. Oh, yep, those two. You know, it's like there you could have definitely like the Martez sister one and the Captain Rex.
Yeah.
Smack them together, make it
Like
a
the
sandwich.
Martez sister episode just doesn't need its own week. Like
Right.
so many episodes that you can point out.
I
But yeah.
appreciate that they get their own posters and stuff during the marketing. By the way,
Yeah.
that's a whole different talk about the marketing and the posters that Disney Plus has. Weird marketing, but anyways, like I really stress like that first episode or movie, whatever, aftermath of Bad Batch, so good. That was like if that's a
Mm,
Bad Batch episode that I'll rewatch on end, it's that one.
yeah.
It's just so good, and it's
And
like
it goes for
that
like
was
70 minutes. It's like a
it's
chunk of story. Yeah.
exactly. So if they
Yeah.
would do that, and you said, as you said, condense it down to like 7-8 weeks, that would be
Mm,
great because then even on social media, like people are not going to be talking Bad Batch throughout its entire run. It just loses, and it's like hopefully now
yeah.
that Disney Plus, like you know, all the shows that they put to order all those years ago, now that it's kind of like clamoring up. It's like now you can condense shows and be like, you know what? Because look at what's happening with Tales of the Jedi and Andor. Before, like, if we went back a year ago, that wouldn't have happened. You would have
Mm,
had Tales of the Jedi like in this month, and then next month it would have been Andor. It's just the way it went. But
yeah.
now that Disney Plus is getting more crowded, its schedule or release schedule, anyways, like you
Mm,
should definitely have that moment where you know condense your shows down. If we're doing another 16 episode season, it's like condense that, like write
yeah.
off episodes, sandwich,
Oh,
post that. You
perfect. Would
know
have been, and then also no one would have been talking about how in the first Ryloth episode we don't see the Bad Batch because you could have seen it more as a movie and that was just
Ex-
setting it up. So yeah, and
exactly.
honestly, if it was up to me, I've said this to you before, I would be releasing them in chunks of 4 because then that's 1 month of Bad Batch, which I just think is the perfect amount of time. Every week you get to sit down and watch a Bad Batch movie. Like that's how I personally would do it, but I would take them just doing two a week. But
I would
yeah,
definitely go. If it was Clone Wars style for sure. If they had like those 4 or 3 episode arcs, I'd be like, release
yeah,
them like that. They're little mini
yeah,
movies, but it would be weird to get like to like start off like on a real high note and then end with that one like minecart episode. Be like, well, the last
true.
episode,
That is
but
true.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying though. But anyways, yeah, Bad Batch, awesome that it's coming back. Relieved as you that it's not coming in anytime soon. I really want my animation fixed because it's been more than a year.
we'll get it
But
with
Tails,
Tails. Yeah, yeah,
but we'll get with Tails, and I'm excited
yeah,
for that. So it's like, you know what, Tails, you could be the little, I don't want to say appetizer because it's not that. It's gonna be like this
yeah,
big project, but it's definitely gonna help like just keep the hunger down for animation. And
yeah.
January, I think what a way to start off the new year with some Bad Batch. I really hope it's an explosive first episode. That's great. I think the last time we watched something around New Year's like that close, was it Boba Fett? Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
it
But
was.
before that, I think it was like some Clone Wars episode that they released literally on New Year's
Mm,
Day, back in like in season 2. But anyways, yeah, it's like that's really cool. So we're literally at that point now where we're having Star Wars all year round. People thought that 2022, at least the beginning with Book of Boba Fett, Bad Batch in the spring,
yeah.
that was going to be the year for Star Wars. It's like no, it's kind of starting out
Mm.
late, but it
I
is
was
starting.
thinking of that the other day, how everyone was making these posts like these are the 5 shows we're getting this year, and then it just like hasn't panned out at all. We got like
No,
Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Andor Tales, still a substantial amount of series, but Mando
definitely.
season 3 and Bad Batch we all just assumed would come out this year, and it's not the case at all.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, people actually were like, "Oh, I wish we got a new Bad Batch trailer," but it's like, for what? Like, what
Yeah,
would a
it's
new
no,
trailer
it's so
serve
far
right
away.
now? It
Yeah,
would. There's no point. So
no,
I
I agree.
stress that it's like January is still what month are we in? September. So
Yeah,
several months away, a couple months away. From that happening, and I'm sure roll around December, like even November, we'll get our another look at Bad Batch, and that first trailer, watch it 100 more times because that is a
yeah,
stacked trailer. It's very different from the one we watched at Celebration, but it's
yeah.
still packed.
Still good.
Like
Yeah.
in that trailer, they don't show you Commander Cody, but it's still packed. So you should absolutely go and relish in it. But
Mm,
Bad Batch season 2, I'm so pumped for it. I
yeah.
went absolutely crazy. True and I, Star Wars dude. He's actually an avid listener of the podcast, so shout out True. But we literally we have like all through quarantine together, we like talked about Clone Wars at nauseum, And literally, it was so cool to experience the Bad Batch trailer with him, with Gunji coming back, because we always talked about like those unfinished Clone Wars episodes, and then Cody coming back. We were basically jumping on top of each other during that, and we almost broke the seats too. So like, it's just go watch that trailer again, please. And yeah, I'm really excited for season 2 of Bad Batch, and like, even without the Clone Wars stuff, like, I'm just so now invested in Omega storyline and Hunters and Crosshairs. It's like, where are we going now? So yeah, release date, I think it's good, great. Hopefully it doesn't cross over with Mando, because if that happens, I'm telling you, people are very upset at me in my DMs, like, why are you saying no to more Star Wars? And it's like, no, you don't get it. Like, let's not bury Bad Batch.
Maybe they need to see for themselves how oversaturated it's going to be.
Once I talked to them, yeah, exactly. And once I talked to them, they're like, oh, I see your point. I'm glad I messaged you. I was like, okay, I respect that. That was cool. But yeah, so it's like, I want more Star Wars, but don't give it to me all at once like that. You can give me 2 episodes of Bad Batch a week or something like that, but don't throw it all in my face.
Yeah, no, I am fair. I'm like more than 50% sure that Mando's going to be pushed back far enough to give Bad Batch clear air. Speaking of Mando, though, we did see the trailer. It was close to identical. I think one thing that I honestly haven't watched the one that they dropped much, because we'd already seen it. But the only thing that I think they might have not done is we saw Carson Teva in the Celebration one, and I don't think he was in this one. But I could be completely wrong.
Who's that?
That was just Carson Teva, Paul Sands' character. Dave Filoni's
right, the pilot,
X-Wing co-pilot.
Yeah. Right. Oh, right. Yeah. We seen him in the other one, right?
But maybe I'm just completely off on that. However, yeah, the trailer came out. We talked about it in an episode like ages ago now, like Celebration news recap, if you want to go hear our thoughts on that. But do you have any like updated thoughts you want to throw out there after seeing it again?
It was weird at Celebration. They showed us like this, like part of the trailer. Maybe it was like the same length. It was, I think it was like the same length as this one, or maybe the same one. And then we tuned up for the Mando Plus panel, and then they showed an extended one where we saw Star Destroyers. We saw a whole bunch of Babu Fricks, if I'm remembering correctly. Was it just one?
I think it was just one, but we did see a bunch of Kawaki and monkey lizards.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those.
There's like too many. Me and Mike have seen like 3 or 4 different Mando trailers that all kind of had the same stuff, but they were all like weirdly assorted.
Very different.
So we're a little bit confused. But
and I must say, I will give credit. Well, this was a nice. It just look. I'll be honest. Each Mando trailer, like if you just turn off the sound or whatever, it looks the same. Like they all look the same. Man, you get these Mando walking shots. You get Grogu.
Honestly, they all sound the same as well. It's just the armor talking.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta give it to this one though. I think out of all of them, besides I think the very first teaser that was released, just because like you got like cool like sound effects in there, and like you got like cool visuals, I guess. Like I think, or it was the trailer where you had a Queel being like, "I've never met a Mandalorian," and it had like this cool beat.
Yeah,
that one was a good one. But other than that, they've had none whatsoever that were they just felt like straight post. They felt like they were made to be posted on the Disney Plus Instagram page. And then we get this one, and which we saw at Celebration, and I was like actually pumped to see a Mando trailer. And then again with this one, actually the one they showed at Mando Plus, I think that one was the best one. We saw a lot of that like Naboo fighter action in space. Like it looked like a pirate war or something, and we got fireworks in Star Wars again, so that's cool. But yeah, this trailer, like for me, I was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, it's all the same stuff as you said with the narration. It's like we get it. But I thought this was one of the better cut ones. It didn't feel so corporate made. It just felt like, oh shoot, like there's another. But like right now, I'm so focused on like Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Andor, that's like Mandalorian. I'm just kind of.
You're gonna have to watch 3 Star Wars series before you see Mandalorian season 3. So it's like I'm with you. The focus just isn't there, you know. It's like it'll be good, but it's so far away.
They're literally dangling the brownie in front of me, and I'm just like, I do not want it. I gotta finish the cake first. I gotta finish the cake, so I do not want it. But yeah, like Mando, whenever it's supposed to come out, I'm excited. I still wish nothing will ever beat season 2's release, where it was like October. Premiered the day after my birthday, and I remember just staying up with all my friends and we watched it. And like you had that you stretch it out all the way to the Christmas season, and nothing was playing in my house but Mandalorian season 2 finale and like the Boba Fett episodes. Oh my God, that made my Christmas that year. So it's like, I'm going to miss that this time around. It's like, oh, no Mando. Last time it was Book of Boba. But it's like, oh, no live action show during that time. I will miss that. But at least I think by the time Andor's finished, I think we're all going to be like, all right, let's get back into animation. So I think we'll be fine. But I do like Star Wars in my Christmas season.
Absolutely. Yeah. I honestly really don't have much to add. I just, the trailer's good. I like it. I'm excited, but it's too far in the future to give it all that much thought at this point. And then something that is almost too close in the future to give it much thought was the Andor trailer that came out. I literally just watched it once and was like, okay, cool. Because we're that close that I'm like, I don't want to see too much at this point anymore. I'm like, since I've been a little bit detached from a lot of what's been going on the last few months in terms of the Star Wars side of things, I like haven't seen a lot of Andor stuff. I've watched all the main trailers. I watched the Disney Plus Day special, but I watched them, was like, all right, cool. I'm ready. I'm ready to just watch the show now. Like, I don't need to see any more trailers or anything. So kind of similar to Mando. No thoughts, just excited for this 3-episode premiere this time next week, which of course we're going to be reviewing on the pod. It's going to be, I'm so excited to cover a Star Wars show again. You know, Obi-Wan felt so weird because, you know, I was away and the whole series, we're at the premiere. It was just odd. I'm excited to just cover a Star Wars show again. So,
you know, I'll get into my Andor take in a second, but just to note, like the Obi-Wan stuff was so weird because as if you guys go back and watch those videos, like every single video, Ari was at a different place, and it was just like it was so weird. And we even like covered like the first, because we didn't get a chance to review the first 2 episodes at Celebration because we were so busy. So like we came back, or he went to New York and I came back home. Or no, you were
I was in LA.
You were in LA. And you were like,
I was in a hotel lobby using like the webcam on my computer because
the hotel Wi-Fi.
I left my actual camera in Mike's bag and he took it to Chicago.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It was interesting episode, guys, for sure. And I watched the 3rd episode. I watched the 3rd episode in a hostel on my phone in bed, trying to close all the curtains around my bed.
And telling the person sleeping above you, shh, I'm watching Obi-Wan right now.
Yeah. Oh God.
But it was such a weird time. Like, seriously, go back to those episodes. And like, I remember Ari was on the same time zone as me. So he texted me that he was awake and like, let's watch the new Obi-Wan episode together. So like, it was fun and weird times. It was just weird. We'll probably won't experience again for a while. So it was weird. But Andor, excited to get back into covering a Star Wars show, as Ari said. We'll definitely have different guests every week to break down the episodes and just talk and react really to what's going on. So I'm excited about all that. I caught the Disney Plus special, not right away. I just kind of like apparently it's what they showed at the IMAX screenings, which I was planning on going, one was so far out of my area that I was like I don't even feel like going out and seeing it. But
I don't even know if it was a thing in Australia, so I never even considered it. But
I was like, I would have loved to go, but I couldn't. I was too busy and stuff. But that preview, oh my God. If that's what the rest of the series is like, yes, please. Like, I think that was like one of the coolest action sequences we've seen in live action Star Wars on the TV side. So I was like, oh my God, this is cool. The dialogue is great. The acting is great. I mean, not to be one of those like cinephiles or cinegeeks, but I was like, this is really good. Like, this is good. Like, compare that to like what we got with Obi-Wan most of the time. I was like, God, this feels so refreshing. Like, it just feels so
Diego
good.
Luna is just gonna like hit this out of the park. He just looks incredible.
Literally, the other day at my breakfast table, I showed my parents the Andor trailer, and I was like, Andor's literally gonna start premiering at the kickoff of Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't know if that's throughout the world, but at least here in the States. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, there is like a guy, Mexican guy, born in Mexico, started only speaking Spanish, and then eventually he learned English. And it's like, oh my God, look at him leading a Star Wars show, and like his acting is so good. So it's like, yes, exactly what you just said. So I'm so excited for this series and for Andor, for casting Andor's character and all that. Like, I think throughout the podcast, throughout like this past, like even when we came back, we're clamoring that we were excited for Andor and stuff. So yeah. that Disney Plus special, if you haven't seen it yet, thanks to Ari because he's let me into his Disney
I
Plus
forgot
account.
about that, to be
But
honest.
I was like, what do I do today? I was like, let me watch that thing, and it felt never ending in a very good way. Where I was like, I don't want this to stop, and it felt like it was gonna keep going on forever. So I loved it, absolutely loved it. So yeah, I'm not like I'm jumping up and down for Andor. Like I did when the show was announced, but right now I'm like just throw it stuff at me and I'll see like if I react to it and whatnot. But like everything I've seen so far, I'm just eating it up. So with that new trailer too, I was like, oh my god, this looks so just visually good, and it finally feels like a break that we're not gonna get like the cameo of the week, right? It feels so good to
Oh,
like dive
I
into one of
hope
these.
that's not what it turns into.
I really hope it's not. At first, I wanted them to delve into like, oh, make sure like I want to see like connections to Rebels and stuff, and it's like, no, I
They'll do
just
that
want
in
to.
season 2, but yeah.
Yeah, I want right now. I just want a self-contained story, and I want them to dig into Cassian's character. I want what they pitched us, the intrigue and all that stuff. It's like, give it to me. It feels like we're gonna be all like in the mud with that, literally digging into Cassian's childhood to him growing up and fighting against the Empire and teaching others. Like, oh yeah, give it to me. So, and what Mon Mothma's doing. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm like all pumped for this and stuff. Like I said, not jumping up and down, being like counting down the seconds, but I am like, it's like it finally feels good to get back into a live action Star Wars that looks very promising. So yes.
Definitely. Yeah. I think I'm once again just on the same page as you. Just excited to see what they're gonna throw at us. I think the Mon Mothma stuff is probably what I'm most excited for, seeing the Imperial Senate in action. It feels like we haven't really got that, since Clone Wars, and not in live action since the prequels. So I'm like, what's going on with the Senate? Like that's I just like that political side of Star Wars. People always like don't mix politics and Star Wars, which is just the most ludicrous thing to say because Star Wars is about politics. But so I'm excited to see what they do with that. And and then everything with Andor, like Cassian as a character, super excited to see what happens with it. I think I like just seeing that sort of, the almost like the low lives, the ones at the bottom of the food chain, like, starting to rise up, because that's how they're presenting the story. And the Disney Plus Day special thing, I thought that was cool. I really liked the interview stuff. The scene that they showed went for like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know, that didn't really get me excited at all. I kind of just thought, okay, like I was like, okay, acting's cool, the show looks good, and the substance is okay. You can't really judge it though. It's the scene's completely out of context from anything, so you don't really know. But I was kind of just like, okay, interesting. See what happens.
Did it feel like a movie to you?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I am so excited for that they're doing 3 episodes. I think that's such a good idea. Really, like that's what they should have done with Book of Boba. Like really just like throw us into it, and like by the second week we already feel so a part of it, and not like, oh, we got this weird little taster in the first episode, but now it's like we get to watch like the Andor movie, it feels like. So
right.
I'm super excited for it. But yeah, feeling pretty similar to you.
If every episode is 45-50 minutes plus, and I'm just gonna be like, oh my god, like Wednesdays are pretty busy for me, so I'm like, I can't like sit down and like watch this all at once and expect to like because then it's like, what if I was just like, if I didn't have a page, if I didn't do podcasting, and I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna take out the nacho chips and like just sit down and watch Andor. But like I feel like you got to give your opinion on stuff. You got to go posting on the Instagrams and talking about this and that. So it's like, oh man, like sometimes when I'm like, it's just sometimes it's totally sensory overload. It's like, oh my god, there's just too much going on at once. But I do trust that they chose these 3 episodes for a reason, because even like Bad Batch season 2 is coming out with 2 episodes. So it's like premiering at the same time. So it's like, okay, cool. So hopefully like these all like, it's like one arc or something that they'll give us. So yeah, just kind of cautious with that, being like, oh man, if they're like an hour each, I'm going to sit down, I'm watching a 3-hour movie. But if it's more like some of them are like 30 minutes, this one's 45, the other one's 47, I can do that. But I'm just, I'm still very much like looking forward to that big day release. That's going to be epic. But yeah, but no complaints here, because with Obi-Wan, I criticized them for releasing 2 at the start, because the first episode was very good. I really liked the first episode. Second one, it stands alone by itself too. And it
Yeah.
just like, and it was only 6 episodes, and it's like you shorten the life of that series so
Yeah.
condensely. So it's like this one is 12 episodes, so it's like you can condense it all you want. So yeah, looking forward to
for
that.
sure. And yeah, so moving on from Andor, we got a first look at Skeleton Crew, specifically Jude Law's character. Didn't really give away a lot, but just nice to see what's going on. And it's nice for a show not to get announced and then just not hear anything about it for like 4 years. So it's not. Did you see the picture?
No, but
Like,
didn't they show us something? No,
it
maybe.
was just a picture of Jude Law in action because I think they already started filming, so it was nothing crazy. But it's just nice to actually see something and see that production is ahead. Give me 2 seconds as I find it. That's the first look.
Oh, that looks pretty cool. And you got the kids in the background. What the series is going to be about? That's cool.
Yeah,
The young adults, whatever they're calling them.
there you go. That's Mike's live reaction to the first look. but yeah, so not a lot to talk about there. But
Actor in a costume. What can I
yeah,
say?
we'll stay tuned. I wonder when the show's going to drop. The release schedule for all this stuff, as we've been talking about, is
hopefully in 2024, because 2023 seems like an overload. But I
it's
will
gonna
say,
go
Ari,
Bad Batch, Mando, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew. Like, it's going
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
and I will just say maybe even Tales of the Jedi season 2 or volume 2 or whatever they
Oh,
do.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
But by the way, in the comments, let us know what you think of Tales of the Jedi. Are you more excited for Dooku, Ahsoka? Would you like to see a season 2? Who's the focus? Let us know. That's the
Okay.
question of
Well,
the day
actually,
for you guys.
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What out of the 4 upcoming series, Mando season 3, Bad Batch season 2, Tales of the Jedi, and Andor, what's most exciting
This is
for you?
literally my post for Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah.
I right now I would say, look, I'm always a kid at heart, right? So it's got to be Tales of the Jedi. Like
Yes. Let's go. Same.
it's got to be Tales of the Jedi. Like going back into that Clone Wars realm, and these are stories that I've always wanted. Seeing Dooku and Qui-Gon, like those are just stories that I've always wanted. So to get that finally is like, it's like, man, like I've been saying this like since ever I started my page. I'm like, why don't we explore that time period or like different time periods? And you made us talk about Tales of the Jedi when all we had was a logo to go off of, and it was like when we were like pitching what it could be, I was like,
Yeah.
why don't we do an anthology series and you have the first volume set in the prequel era or even High Republic era, and then go from there all the way to the sequels and just pick different Jedi moments to I mean, I would love to see Rey again episode one day. Like that would be so
Definitely.
epic.
Yeah.
And Finn too. So really the possibilities what you could do with the series is endless. So I really hope that this I'm just excited to watch more of this. And the second one obviously would be Andor. But yeah, like I'm like really excited for like that gritty rebellion. But like right now, I'm just pumped for Tales of the Jedi. So you're a Tales of the Jedi fan too?
Definitely Tales, then either Bad Batch or Mando season 3, then Andor. One, but not to discredit Andor at all. I'm excited for all of them. It's hard to split, but yeah, Tales
All right,
definitely is at the top of
that's
my
fair.
mind.
You're gonna
Yeah.
be singing a different tune when it comes to.
I hope so. I hope I am.
I'm not excited for Mando. I will say, like I didn't
Yeah.
even go into this, but after Book of Boba Fett, and
Oh no, yeah. I am with you with that.
Oh
Yeah.
man, like I don't know.
Book
Like
of
I'm not.
Boba put a massive dent in the progression of the Mandoverse.
And I blame a lot of stuff for my like Star Wars pain, like that I've just haven't been able to like literally when Ari was staying with me during his trip here, he would bring up Star Wars and I was like, nope, turn it off. Like I don't want to hear it. Like it just sounded like work to me at that point. So and it's like I blame Book of Boba and Obi-Wan, both of them. Shame on you.
Fair enough. Okay, so another first look we got was of Ahsoka. We've also seen stuff from Ahsoka. So for us, it wasn't a first look, but we saw. Did you see this one? The first look at Sabine looking at the mural. I just pulled it up in case you haven't.
Oh yeah, I just posted that today.
Yeah.
A little comparison. Yeah.
And then we also got a first look at Rosario. A first look. It's not really a first look at Rosario. She's got the extended Montrose. I can't find it, but it exists on the internet somewhere. Go find it for yourself. But yeah. Oh, also big news. We haven't talked about this on the podcast. Ezra has supposedly been recast. It's not Mina Massoud. It is. Do you know the name?
Imani, is that right?
Yes, it's Eamon Esfandi. I think that's how you say it.
Yes.
Eamon. I don't know. But yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so what thoughts on that?
I just got it. I didn't even know. I was like, okay, so just to show you guys like the response to this, the reception. This broke on like a Friday afternoon, and usually Fridays are like pretty dead right now. Like I think the last active Fridays like for Instagram, like at least like conversation wise, it was probably like back in the Rogue One Force Awakens days, and like I posted this, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna post this. Like this is really big news because a friend had been saying this for like since like over like 6 months now that this was the casting, and I was like, I believe it. So I've been following E-Man for a while now on Instagram. So when it came out, I was like, oh my god, like, and it was reported by Cinelinx. I don't know, and then it was confirmed,
and then
but it was then confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter, and it was like, oh my god, like we have different sources on this. Awesome. I'm gonna take it as fact. And I think, I mean, look at the guy. Look at the guy. He just, I mean, look, I mean, I understand that Ezra has shorter hair, the buzz cut look, but like this guy just looks.
He can get a haircut, guys. Relax.
Right, and plus, Ezra's probably grown out all his hair by the time we meet him again. So unless he's got like, unless he's gonna be playing around with the lightsaber, cutting his hair. But I literally, just to give you guys this thing right here, I would post on Instagram on Fridays and get maybe like you would have to post before 3 p.m. Central Time, and I'd probably get in most like 3,000 likes by the end of the day on that post. Posted this within the hour, 4,000 likes on like this Ezra casting, and I posted it like at 5 p.m., 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That's dead time because people on Fridays are out doing stuff. So it was completely dead, and now the post has like 14,000 likes, and I'm like, people are really excited to see Ezra in live action, and I think we found our perfect fit. And you could not be happier with this because, like, usually when there's like castings, like I remember, like
you could be. There could be one person that they cast instead that would have made me a lot happier. But yeah.
And we talked to the guy. We talked to him, and you know, and he had no clue what was going on. But he was still like, you know, he'd love to come back, but. You know, it's like if they're gonna do this, it's great. I think that's just great casting, and we always want like. I mean, I've never seen him in anything, but like just look wise, I'm like, yes, that's awesome. So I don't know, we got to see it more, but I love that they are like casting who the characters are supposed to be because I think is Taylor Gray fully white? I don't know, but like Ezra,
I'm not sure about all that, but yeah.
But Ezra is like meant to be like someone of color and stuff, so it's like that they got an actor to be. It's like, okay, cool. I would love to see Taylor Gray involved with Ezra's like portrayal in live action, whether that be you know being a consultant or being like having a role in the series. Like I would love that. And same with Sabine's character. I think Tia Sakar would have been perfect already.
Oh yeah, that's just
that would have been.
I'll never forget me and you watching the Ahsoka trailer, getting so excited, and then they're like, "Welcome, Sabine," and it was like it wasn't Tia Sakar, and we were both just like, "Oh
we
no."
we went from like almost breaking the chairs in our seats. Yeah, I was jumping on this guy the entire time when they were showing like this Ahsoka teaser. You could catch our full rundown here on the YouTube channel. But like we went from like if we're riding a roller coaster and then we just like
it just stopped.
It just that's it. Yeah, and we had the same reaction when the next celebration was announced. We put that phone down when they were about to reveal the next one. Oh, so great, so great. But
no, I could talk about Ezra all day. Obviously, wish it was Taylor Gray, but it's not to be. But I think, if you exclude all the Taylor Gray stuff and you just look at this for what it is, I think it's good casting. I don't know anything about the actor. I'm purely going off appearance. I think it's good. Yeah. I'm going to get right behind him until he gives us reason not to. But at this point, I just please involve Taylor Gray. Don't shaft the voice actors like they did to Ashley Eckstein when they were recasting Ahsoka. But I think it's good casting. I'm like, part of me is like, obviously, Ahsoka has got to be my most anticipated Star Wars project purely because of the Ezra, the fact that we're probably going to see Ezra again. But part of me is also very scared that it's not going to be done right. So we'll see what happens. I'm going in with the open mind and hoping that they do it right. But I've got pretty good faith. Everything we're hearing about the series is pretty positive. Dave Filoni is well and truly involved. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good going into Ahsoka. But we're gonna have to watch like 5 or 6 series before we get there. But yeah,
And I'll just say that Rosario just came down to Chicago, and she was at a Comic-Con, and she had her own panel at C2E2, and she was like, "Oh, we have a rough cut of like an episode done," and like Dave called it religious experience. It's like, of course he's gonna call it that. It's his project,
Yeah.
but it's like, I don't know, if like I'm gonna be really upset if like this Andor stuff turns out to be really like masterful good. I'm like, put Tony Gilroy, the head of the department of anything live action, take John Favreau out, because I'm just like, I mean, I don't. It's just what visually already. Like, I'm just, they make everything look so real in Andor, where it's like, oh my god, we're out of this stupid volume, as you've said before on the podcast, and it just looks visually engaging.
You're the one that said that, not me.
No. I brought it up, but you're like, we're out of the volume, mate. Oh yeah, I know I did call it stupid, but you're like, we're out of the volume, mate. We're out of the volume.
In that profound drinking episode, you had a lot to say about the volume, as I've mentioned on the.
But I was forced to give. I was forced to give a take, so I had to say it, right. But I'm just saying that for future reference. But as you said, all we know is like some stills and little images here of like the Ahsoka series, but what we saw of that teaser, like it looks promising. I just whatever wherever Rebels is included, I'm in. So yeah,
absolutely. That is a great way to end the show for this week. Thank you everyone for listening. That's all the D23 big wrap up that we can give to you guys. Starting next week, it's going to be all Andor, so we're just gearing up for that. Stay tuned for all of that coverage. If you haven't already, like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the audio, make sure you rate us, follow us, subscribe, all of that. We really appreciate it. Mike, where can people find you online?
You guys can always find me _Star Wars on Instagram and Twitter. When people aren't throwing stuff at each other, I'll be there. If I'm bored, I'm posting on there. But you guys can find me there. Expect some Andor coverage on everything. So yeah, excited to pump into it. And Ari, people want to not throw rocks at you, but maybe like throw you a DM here and there. Where can they do so?
Find me, main place, Instagram, Star Wars _exchange, occasionally on Twitter at the SW Exchange. But make sure you follow the podcast page on Instagram at the SW Exchange. A lot of talk. All the links are in the description. Go find what you're looking for. Thanks so much to everyone for listening. We'll see you all next week to talk about the first 3 episodes of Andor. Can't wait for that. See you all next week. May the Force be with you all always.
Adios.
Yep.